Hello, 900 students. Converting percents and fractions back and forth. Two options. How very exciting. Going to start off before I demonstrate these two options in converting 75% to a fraction. Now, we know the answer is 3/4. Everybody knows that 75% equals 3/4. But let me show you and demonstrate the two options, the two rules of converting percents to fractions. Option one, which you want to use most of the time, although you could use either one for any of these. I just sometimes there's an advantage of using each one. I'll show you that in a minute. But to use option one, if you had 75%, what you would do is you would take the number 75 and divide it by 100. Now, instead of writing the division sign, just put it over 100. Okay, that's dividing by 100. And then just reduce. This reduces by 25 to 3/4. So this becomes 3/4. For option two, which is the way I learned it in school, if you have 75%, following the rule here, you move the decimal two places left. So we're going to convert it to a decimal. So it starts here, move it back two places. This becomes 0.75. And then instead of saying 0.75, we say 75 hundredths. So this becomes 75 over 100. That's what I mean by say it and then write what you say. So we say 75 hundredths, write it like that, and then reduce to 3/4, just like you did here. But by dividing by 100, you bypass this step. All right. Now, I wish that was it, but there's a lot more to this. So I'll get rid of that. And we'll do a bunch of examples using option one and option two, and I'll show you what's the advantage here. So let's say we had 33%, and I'm going to use option one on this. Just like before, we would take 33, divide it by 100, and reduce. And that thing doesn't reduce, so bam, you're done. That's a fraction right there. If we had, say, 55%, we would say 55 over 100. These are all equal. And then reduce. So this would reduce by 5 to 11 over 20. 5 would go into each of these. 5 times here and 20 times here. 11. I'm sorry, this would be 11. 11 20ths. 5 goes into 55 11 times. So that's basically option one. Now, option two, where it shines, is when, I'll do this in purple, when we have something like 6.5%, when we have a decimal in the percent. When that happens, you don't want to use option one. You will be barking up the wrong tree if you do that. You want to use option two when there's a decimal in there. So what you would do, just like the other one I demonstrated, you'd move it back two places to 0.065. Say it properly, 65 thousandths, 65 over 1,000, and then you would reduce that. So the number 5 would go into each of these. It would go into 65 13 times, and 5 would go into 1,000 200 times. 13 over 200. Who knew that 6.5% is 13 over 200? But it is. You want to use this, so make a little note here. Use when you have a decimal within the percent. And what I mean by that is this right here. When that thing is in there, you use this method. All right. Now let's do a couple more like that. Okay, get a new layer here. Let's say we had this one here. Let's say our problem was 6 2/5%. So here we have a fraction, a percent containing a fraction. That's what that's called. A percent containing a fraction. When you have a problem like this, you want to use option one. Absolutely option one all day long. You don't want to use this one. You'll be in trouble if you do. So we got 6 2/5%. And what you would do is convert this to an improper fraction. So 5 times 6 plus 2 is 32 fifths. And then you would divide this by 100, which is the same as 32 over 5 times, and you would flip this over to 1 over 100. and then you would cancel. Let's see, by the number 4, and this would be 8, and 4 goes into that 25 times. So this would work out multiplying straight across 8 over 125. And that's the most reduced form of this. You don't want to go converting these to decimals and farting around with that, because you're going to get in trouble and something will get goofed up if you do. This is how you do problems, option 1, when you have a percent containing a fraction. Now, in the following video, we'll go over how to go from a fraction to a decimal, but I think that's probably enough. You really need to just stop and go back and watch this about 3 times and practice as we do it, hitting pause. You guys have a fabulous day.